Good morning. I'm Cynthia Handler, Director General of the Office of Energy Research and Development at Natural Resources Canada, responsible for federal CCUS policy and programming. I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to provide remarks at this summit, and I'm pleased to be part of the impressive lineup of speakers today with several representatives from partner governments advancing CCUS around the world. I would also like to recognize recent leadership by Japan, from the enactment of the CCS Business Act last year, strong support for RD&D, and its leadership in fostering regional collaboration through the Asia CCUS network. On our side, I'm proud that Canada is also a global leader in carbon management, including both CCUS and carbon dioxide removal. Canada has a strong foundation in clean and conventional energy, as well as in heavy industry. And as the world works to rapidly cut emissions, carbon management will be key to Canada's continued competitiveness in these sectors. Today, I'll be speaking about the measures Canada has taken to support innovation, economic growth, and global partnerships in the carbon management sector. Canada's new government began its mandate in May this year and is prioritizing key infrastructure and strengthening collaboration and trade, while aiming to become a clean and conventional energy superpower. Last June, Parliament passed the One Canadian Economy Act, legislation that provides a framework to remove federal trade barriers and to advance major projects of national interest. Part 2 of this legislation enacts the Building Canada Act, which establishes a new Major Projects Office, or MPO, providing a single window for proponents, Indigenous communities, and governments to identify and fast-track nation-building projects. On September 11th, the Prime Minister announced the first series of projects being referred to the MPO for consideration, which represent investments of more than $60 billion into the Canadian economy. More nation-building projects are expected to be announced over the coming months, poised to unleash further multi-billion-dollar investments. Notably, the MPMO has identified innovative carbon capture and storage and carbon management technologies as part of the strategic and transformative focus. Canada is committed to a net zero economy by 2050. Canada's carbon management strategy, released 2 years ago, sets a vision to realize the potential of carbon management to help achieve economic and climate goals. The strategy outlines 5 federal priorities, including advancing innovation, policy supports, and scale-up, and it identifies 5 low-carbon pathways where carbon management is expected to play a key role. Canada is using a range of policy tools to accelerate the development and deployment of carbon management solutions. At the foundation is a rising industrial price on carbon and regulations to incent innovation and decarbonization investment. Canada has introduced a suite of investment tax credits, or ITCs, to help address capital costs of projects. The CCUS ITC is a refundable tax credit for eligible capital expenditures, with tax credit rates ranging from 37.5% to 60%. Regulatory frameworks to support safe and permanent geological CO2 storage are in place in several of our Canadian provinces, including Alberta, Saskatchewan, and British Columbia, making them eligible for the ITC. Other provinces are developing their regulatory frameworks for CO2 storage and are expected to become eligible for the ITC in the future. Canada also has strategic financing tools for carbon management, including the $15 billion Canada Growth Fund, the CGF, which has provided carbon contracts for differences, or CCFDs, to CCUS projects, and support by the Canada Infrastructure Bank. Finally, we have targeted programs to support carbon management. This includes targeted investment in RD&D through the $319 million CCUS RD&D program. Last but not least, the Government of Canada is advancing a $10 million commitment to procure high-quality carbon dioxide removal services, boosting demand for the technologies and reducing emissions from government operations. The federal supports I've just described complement provincial government supports. Together, our enabling policies and incentives are supported by our favorable geology, which is well suited for CO2 storage, as well as deep expertise in our industries and research centers, including federal laboratories. Thanks to these advantages, Canada presents a compelling environment for investment in major CCUS projects, and our carbon management sector continues to see strong growth and momentum. We are home to 8 of the world's 65 operating commercial-scale CCUS projects, with several recent positive final investment decisions, or FIDs, on major projects, including by Shell, ATCO EnPower, Wolf Midstream, Entropy, Air Products, Dow, and Linde. Innovative Canadian companies spanning the carbon management value chain are receiving international recognition, such as through the Global Cleantech 100, with significant partnerships, acquisitions, and foreign direct investment underway. There are also growing business-to-business partnerships between Japan and Canada in advancing CCUS technologies and projects. In 2023, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries installed a pilot capture system at Heidelberg Materials cement plant in Alberta. On the utilization side, Clean02 Technologies entered an exclusive license agreement with Tokyo Gas and Okaya & Co. for deploying Clean02's CarbonX technology, which captures CO2 produced from building heating systems and converts it into valuable carbonates used in products like soap. Bison, a CO2 storage hub developer, with shareholder backing from Marubeni Corp and Mizuho Bank, received regulatory approval for a major CCUS hub in March 2025. Sumitomo Corporation and Reconciliation Energy Transition Inc. signed a joint development agreement in 2024 for the East Calgary Hub project. There are also growing business-to-business partnerships between Canada and other countries in the region. For example, Svante and Samsung Engineering ENA signed a joint development agreement for modular capture plants. International engagement and collaboration is a key component of Canada's carbon management approach. Canada participates in several multi-country forums, including as a North American lead in the Carbon Management Challenge, a collaboration of over 20-plus countries aiming to advance a pipeline of projects by 2030 that will manage 1 gigaton CO2 or more annually. In addition, through the Clean Energy Ministerial CCUS initiative and the Mission Innovation Carbon Dioxide Removal Mission, Canada is helping accelerate carbon management across the innovation to deployment spectrum. We're encouraged to see increasing participation around the world, and Japan has been a key member in all 3 of these initiatives. Canada also collaborates bilaterally on carbon management, such as the Canada-Japan Energy Policy Dialogue. We very much appreciate the collaboration and progress we've made together through this dialogue. International collaboration in carbon management, including both CCUS and CDR, will be a key part of advancing Canada's economic and environmental goals. Going forward, Canada will continue to focus on driving innovation and deployment of carbon management solutions. Durable support from federal and provincial governments make us a leading jurisdiction for carbon management development and deployment. Our new government is clear in its strong support for the sector and is turning toward a busy fall agenda, including their first federal budget to be tabled on November 4th. Business partnerships are driving carbon management innovation and scale in Canada and around the world, and we will continue to support international collaboration to realize the potential of carbon management in achieving our collective economic, energy security, and climate goals. Thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.